I used Yashica movie camera, Super 8, filmed 18 frames a second, and then I sent the movie film to a friend who projected it onto a screen, and his camera and made the slides. And that's why you'll see the different colored backgrounds depending on the camera film he used. So, well now, this is a little bit mixed up, so I'll just go ahead. These are what I call lights in the night. You're going to see, the ones at first are very simple, but these are UFOs coming down. And most of them have a streak behind them, and you see the different solid colors, no blinking lights. There's a red one. There's two coming down. It's another type. That's a disc with oval lights all around the edge. This is a group of different. There's another disc with different kind of light. There's another one. Okay, see the streak of light on the side? Many times UFOs put down a beam of light. They vary in color, and they will come down the beam. Or sometimes they just put beams straight up into the air. This one, the one with the, if these slides are in order, the two blue lights at the top, yep, left the group and came down towards me. There's three, two red, one yellow lights. Oh, okay. This here, the streak is the movement they're making. But the blue marking is a probe or a remote-controlled object. And the streak is the movement they were making while I was filming. Now, UFOs are always accompanied by remote-controlled objects. Excuse me. They vary in size from the size of an orange to a 4-foot ball. This is the movement that teardrop one made in 1/18 of a second. There's a teardrop, and then up through there and down there's a circular ones. Those are remote controls, three of them traveling together. That's a disc, and you can see the circular remote control attached to the side. It's a little darker. I hope you can see it. There's three. There's a disc and a boomerang. There's another one. See, there's nothing consistent about UFOs. I call that one a flying wing. You have to try to find names for them. Okay, this is 7 UFOs flying together. This is what the pattern they separate to. And this is a very common pattern for 7 UFOs to fly around in. We see it many, many times. I call this one the flying jellyfish. And this is pink and blue. And I read that this was type was seen flying around Moscow. And they call it a jellyfish, so we can have a jellyfish here too. There was 2, now one just changed its light. Here's a green beam they came in on. Oh, now we're going to, these are called mushrooms. These are my mushrooms. Hey, one changes to a blue color. The 3 of them, now they've got a blue one with 2 blue lights joining them. And then there's a blue remote control object down the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. More mushrooms. And this is the edge of a disc with the lights on it. This is the movement. See the red one at the bottom? When UFOs come in, you know, they go slow, speed up, slow, speed up. The bright areas are where they slow down, and then they speed up and it's dim, and there's one at the bottom who's doing it. Wait a minute. Well, I won't. There's another one that shows the movement. Fast, slow, and there it is over on the left-hand side. Okay. This is 2. You can see that the 2 at the very, very edge. This is the movement that these 2 made in 1/18th of a second. And it's night. They're lighting up the whole area as bright as day. There's 30 here. See, the UFO would come in and land on the railroad tracks. And we all stayed away from it. But one night, this wise guy's going to walk up to it, and I'm filming it. 30 UFOs came in to make sure he did not walk up to it. He came back. The movement, the lines are the UFOs that are still moving, and then there's the ones that are stopped. This is the one putting a white beam up with. Here's 3. Here's 19. I don't know if the blue, should be a blue beam seen on the left-hand side. They came down the blue beam individually and moved over and formed into groups of 5. And there's 19 there altogether. There's another odd one. Oh, these are 2 beams that came in. Now we got 1 beam, and that was flew in on the beam. And there it is without the beam. Now these are Polaroids, taken with Polaroids from my back steps where I live. They flew over my house. Now the colors, the beating effect actually is the result Oh, the way the lights were flashing. See the different beading effect? See, there's some now beginning to come in using the blue beams, blue lights. Here's some ones coming in using red lights. And that's the end of them. Tried to count them, there's approximately 50. The one here, the important one, is the light-colored one, because it left the group. I call this my flying trash can. Now, I understand Ed Mitchell saw this out in space, but apparently the one he saw was farther away because he called it a beer can. But that left the group, and it came right down towards me, and it's tumbling, going boom, 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 like that. I've seen that one 3 or 4 times. This is a carrier. It used to come in horizontal, now they come in vertical. That's what they discharged. 9 of them. This is the front. Okay, not all, about 1977, UFOs began changing to look more like things that we were accustomed to see. I don't have a slide, but I have a picture of a plane, a helicopter, a disc, and a trash can flying together. This is supposed to look like a plane, only it's huge. And it made a roaring sound. It sounded like 10 jets, but I don't have the other sides with me. But this actually has wings. They go up and down like the wings of a bird. And they have blue lights on the end of the wings. Oh, somebody told about a remote. I'm spreading this to somebody the other day. That little light. Okay, I'm driving along, this UFO out here. It opens up a little sliding door in the bottom of the craft, and this object about the size of a basketball drops down. And as it travels away, it becomes lighted. Then it comes up behind my car, because I've stopped now to watch this. Comes up behind my car, becomes lighted, goes over my car, and that's a remote-controlled object. At the bottom, those are my windshield wipers. And I don't know what's up in the sky. I didn't see it. There's some more. Now, there's my trash can again. Oh, these are out of order. Well, anyway, this is what's supposed to be one of the last ones. As I said, the UFOs came in and landed on the railroad tracks. The other UFOs would come in and fly up to it. Apparently, we called it headquarters, because they'd fly off in different directions. And this one, you could see the 3 legs, and actually, it has 14 oblong lights that are white. But it also has other sides. But there it is earlier in the day, without so many lights on. There it is flying when it takes off, lighted. So you can see the shape. There's a remote control object at the bottom. This one, if you take it, has a slanted roof. See the light in the window in the front? See the head? Can you see the head? That's not a remote controlled object. The kids call this the Big Apple, because this one is about the size of 4 full moons. And it has a streak up above, it looks almost like an apple, has a remote control on the side. If they don't want you in the area, they just drift towards you, and you move so you won't get crushed. Oh, these are in wrong, but I can't. Let me see how. Okay, let me go back. Okay. These are in backwards, but okay. Let me do it this way. 1, 2. Okay. We started filming this one. It's flying around. And there it is dark at night. Okay. It's upside down, but what it says, printed, is IUC. And we're yelling, no, it's ICU. There it is in the beginning. Okay. What happened here? A UFO had landed. I went out, picked up some of the soil, put it in a plastic bag, brought it in, put it on the table. As you can see, one half the plant just went shh and died, and the other half survived. So a friend took the picture. So be careful if you pick up soil, what you do with it. Okay, this one, I film up from my front steps. It's over the roof of the house next door. You can see the lighted windows. Okay, as this one came up the street towards me, I'm standing on the front steps filming. If a UFO is too close to you, you cannot film it. This is what happens to your film. You get all these colors. Right? And then the last one was the picture of it over the roof. Now this is one that was taken in the daylight up in the White Mountains. And I put this in because I've been told that in Belgium, this identical type picture has been filmed. See it in the sky, and then the object coming down the trees. Oh. I call this one the Supreme Commander. Actually, it has a tail on it, and it has a propeller on the top, like a helicopter. And when it flies, you can see the blue disc at the bottom. It's usually surrounded, and in 15 years it's been seen only about 3 times. So we figure it's high command checking out the troops. That's the last one? Okay. So now, in conclusion, let me say that after this experience, how do I know my own experience was real? Because at first there was the research in developing the needle in the navel, the research of the star map. Also, Pease Air Force Base released the radar report. They saw the craft. They sent 2 military planes up to check it out. The reports from the pilots are still classified, but we know that the craft left the area at 2:14 a.m. And then later, I went on Lee Bailey's program, Lie Detector. Lee questioned me for a half hour, and then I sat down and took lie detector testing in front of a whole wide world. And the question I was asked was, is it true you were shown the star map when you were on board the UFO in the White Mountains of New Hampshire on September 19, 1961? And the answer was yes. And I got hired. So, any questions? Now let me say this. Talking about miracles, I want to say that because of this experience, I've traveled all over the world. I've met with the top scientists. I've met wonderful, wonderful people. And I not only have met astronauts from us, but I met astronauts from another planet. And that, my friends, is a miracle. Thank you.
Hold them up to the camera if you'd like.
These are some pictures.
Well, yeah, I've got the camera running still if you'd like to hold them up.
Oh, here's a flying trash can.
The flying trash can. Let's hold it.
Who was it? One of the astronauts.
If you could hold it towards you, Betty. Yeah, that would be great. A flying trash can. Yeah, hold it right towards you. Right
okay. I call it a flying trash can, but one of the astronauts saw the same shape out in space, and he called it a flying beer can.
Oh, okay. So, what else do you have there?
Oh, there's another. This is a disc. This little attachment here is a remote-controlled object, which they toss out, and it flies around by itself. I don't know, it could be a listening device, something like that. And there's 7. And that's a very common pattern for them to fly in. I don't know if you can get these.
Sure, yeah. Great. They look okay. That's a very common,
yeah, a very common pattern for flight. And then, oh, this one's huge.
Is that the outline of a craft?
This is the front, the lighted front. And I would say this one is about 1/4 of a mile wide.
Wow.
And then this one, this is a disc, lighted along the edges. These are very interesting. These are all my copies of my pictures. If you're too close to a UFO, this is what it does to your camera. You can't take a picture of it.
Wow.
You get all these lights. I mean, I assume this is different kinds of energies if we only knew how to analyze them.
And these were outdoors taken?
These were taken right in my front steps here.
And this
the UFO was coming up the street. See?
Wow.
Anyway, the craft came up the street. I'm standing on the front steps. And then when it went over the roof of the buildings across the street, and I filmed it. But this is a very poor picture of it. Anyway, it was a circular craft, round like a ball. And it had windows that were lighted. This is bright red. That's the way the pictures were duplicated. Here's a remote-controlled object. And this one is bigger. It's a perfectly round ball, and it's bigger than the full moon.